Hi, welcome to today's gentle flow. For today's practice, you are going to want just a box, a block or a shoebox will work just fine. And we're gonna get started in a reclined position. You might bring that block along with you just to have within reaching distance. Start here with soles of the feet on the mat, hips, shoulder, head, all supported here. And then start to extend your left leg long. Right sole of the foot presses into your right inner thigh or your right calf, whatever feels better for you. Now this is where you might take a moment. If it feels like this is a bit too intense of a hip opening to start your practice, you can bring that block right under your knee, giving it a little support here. If that still feels too intense, you can always bring your left sole of the foot to the mat. That can lessen that intensity as well. Once you've given yourself a little time to adjust and settle in as feels good, start to bring your awareness to your breath, gently extending those inhales and exhales. Give yourself 2 more breaths right where you are. And when that's complete, left sole of the foot comes to the mat, right sole of the foot to the mat as well. Extend your right leg long. Left sole of the foot can press into that calf or inner thigh. Again, adjusting, maybe you'd like that block under your knee, maybe not. Reminding ourselves bodies are different side to side. So just adjusting as you need to. Once you've found a shape that feels good and supportive here, give yourself a few rounds of breath to settle in. Two more breaths right here. And then gently bringing that right sole of the foot to the mat, left sole of the foot to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Pressing that low back into the mat. Take some knee circles here, drawing circles with your knees one direction. Working at a pace that feels good for you, and then reversing directions. And next round of breath, gently rock and roll yourself up to a comfortable, easy seat. Taking whichever leg you prefer in front, hands can rest here on knees. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand outside of right hip, left arm reaches overhead. Giving yourself a few rounds of breath here, keeping that heart pulling through so we're not dropping the left shoulder down. One more breath. Use that next inhale to come back to center. Exhale, other side, right arm overhead, left hand plants. Once again, being mindful of our shoulders and that chest space, keeping that area of the body open. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Switching out your legs here. Inhale, reach your fingertips tall. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Then allow your hands to fall. Easy seat forward folds. You might notice your sit bones wanting to lift off the mat. Gently pressing them into the mat behind you, even if that means walking your hands in a bit more. Allowing yourself a bit of time here before you walk your hands in to lift your upper body out of that shape. Coming to a tabletop position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale for cow, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale for cat, round your spine. Give yourself one more round, following your pace of breath. Pausing at a neutral spine, gently pulling that belly button away from the mat. And then extend your right leg long behind you, toes off the mat first. Mini twist, right foot comes outside of left foot. Gaze back at your left foot here. Imagining some extra space between the ribs on the right side of the body. Give yourself a full breath. When that's complete for you, bring your right foot back behind you, toes on the mat, and then extend your left foot to meet it, plank on the toes. Next breath, drop your heels to the right, left arm opens up to the sky, side plank. You can always drop your right knee here to support your body. Giving yourself a full breath here, still building strength even in these gentle flows. Next breath, hand comes back to the mat, knees to the mat for tabletop. Cat-cow between sides. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Back to that neutral spine, and then extend your left leg long, flexing your toes, engaging the glutes. Left foot comes outside of right foot. Mini twist on this side. Looking back towards that heel. Breathing into that space on the left side of the body. Next breath, extend that left foot behind you. Right foot meets it, plank on the toes. Then left hand plants, right arm opens to the sky. Again, you might drop that left knee, modified side plank, beautiful pose. Or keep that foot extended long. If you're feeling real fancy, you can always lift your right foot off the mat. I'm not feeling that fancy. Next breath, hand comes back to the mat, knees to the mat. One more cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin and tailbone. And then back to neutral. Walk your hands forward about a handprint. Tuck your toes, lift your hips for down dog. Giving yourself some time here to pedal out your dog. Shift your hips side to side. Really any movement or stillness that feels good. Use your next inhale to bring a generous bend to the knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up once more. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Pause here. Bring a little more generous bend to your knees. And then opposite hand to opposite elbow. Allow yourself to sway side to side. Once again, noticing that bend in the knees here. Allowing the hamstrings to loosen just a bit. Next inhale, release that grip. Half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up once more. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Inhale here and plank on the knees, so lowering knees to the mat, untuck your toes. Full breath, really puff up the back of your heart. imagining some extra space sliding between those shoulder blades. Use your entire next breath, lower all the way to the mat, elbows graze the ribs. Hands stay right where they are. Inhale, lift for cobra. Heart just as high as feels good, elbows hug into the side body. Exhale, back to the mat. Inhale, press up to your plank, toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back for down dog, or take a tabletop or a child's pose. Whatever feels best in your body. One more full breath wherever you are. Use your entire inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands, low lunge, giving yourself a moment here. Engage that back leg, so activating the quad, press your back heel behind you. And then being mindful of your toes here. That's a weird thing to say. But what you're gonna do, walk your hands to the left side of your body, turning your toes so they face the long edge of the mat. Bringing ourselves to a wide forward fold. You might bring that block here under your hands, or I should say about in the middle between your feet. Right hand plants into the block, half lift. Left arm opens to the sky, so you've got a flat back opening to that side. Next breath, left hand comes to block, right arm opens to the sky. Give yourself a few rounds here. Now in some bodies you might need to adjust so your block's at a bit higher setting. In some bodies it might feel like this block is too high and you'd rather do this just on the mat. Honoring, really, it's just anatomy, what works best for you. Give yourself a few more breaths here. Pausing when you've completed your next round, each side, and then shifting that block out of your way. So again, turn your toes, walk your hands back to the top of the mat, returning to that low lunge. Here for a moment before you step back to downward facing dog. Full breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, sweep your left leg to sky, toes dialed down. Exhale, step it between your hands, low lunge on the other side. Once again, take a moment here to activate that back leg, engaging your quad. Press your back heel away from you. And then when you're ready, being mindful of your toes, turn your toes, walk your hands to the side of the mat. Wide leg forward fold on this side. Now, if those rotations felt good, you are welcome to do them again, or you can allow yourself to hang here, opposite hand to opposite elbow, using that weight of your upper body to increase the stretch. Or for a little more active increase, peace fingers wrap around your big toes, gently pulling yourself into this forward fold. Again, no right or wrong, whatever feels best for you. If you're one of those yogis where inversions are a big part of your practice, this would be a great way to transition into a headstand. I am not one of those yogis yet, so I am not going to be demonstrating that here. But hey, if that's in your practice, go for it. Wherever you are, next breath, gentle release. Inhale to half lift, shoulders up towards hip height. Exhale, turn your toes, walk your hands back to the top of the mat. From here, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Give yourself 3 rounds of breath here. You might keep your hands at heart center, heart pulling towards your thumbs, or you can open your hands by your hips, palms face forward. Whatever feels best for you. Rooting through both feet equally. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Next inhale, reach your arms tall once more. Exhale, hips down and back for chair. Weight stays in your heels here. And then draw your hands to heart center so your heart pulls towards your thumbs, keeping your spine long, avoiding crouching forward. Next breath, shift your weight towards your left foot. Right foot becomes light. Figure 4 chair. Flexing your right toes, press your right knee towards the mat. Give yourself a moment. And then nice and slow, extend your right leg long behind you for crescent. Ball of the foot lands on the mat, fingertips lift. Once again, engaging that quad by pressing that right heel away from us. Give yourself a full breath here. Next breath, hands come back to the mat, returning to that low lunge. Then step back to downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose and down dog. Exhale, release out the mouth. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hips down and back for chair. So again, draw your hands to heart center. Give yourself a moment here first. Heart pulls towards your thumbs. Weight is in the heels. Gentle squeeze between the shoulder blades. Then weight shifts to your right foot. Left foot lifts off the mat for figure 4 chair. Left ankle rests over your right knee, keeping that little mini bend in your right knee. Nice and slow, extend that left leg long behind you. Ball of the foot on the mat, fingertips lift. Activate your quad by pressing that left heel away from the body. Full breath here. Next breath, hands come back to the mat, low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale for half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Interlace all of your fingers except for your pointer finger, Kali Mudra. And then extend your arms over towards the right, side stretch here. Now in some bodies, this can feel uncomfortable, especially in that right shoulder. If that's you, you can drop your right hand. It's a really great way to modify. Finding what works for you, pressing your hips to the left, fingertips to the right. Next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. Hips press to the right, fingertips to the left. Again, checking in with your shoulder. Maybe left hand just comes down that side of your body, or keeping that grip here. Full breath wherever you are. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, squeeze your elbows down, heart lifts. Maybe you look up towards the sky. Inhale, extend your arms. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, flat back, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through your feet, reach up tall once more. Exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Now hands can stay right at heart center, or in some bodies it feels more grounding, have hands on hips, whatever works for you. Left foot plants into the mat. Right heel lifts off the mat. Right heel rests above that left ankle. So starting our tree here, noticing you want that knee pointing out towards the diagonal or towards the side. Breathing here. You are welcome to stay right here or bring your right foot to your right calf or your right foot to the inside part of your thigh. Honoring what's available in your body today. Reminding ourselves bodies are different side to side and balancing poses vary throughout our practice. So not judging yourself too much here. Give yourself a few rounds of breath. You can have hands reaching towards the floor, arms reaching up towards the sky, hands at heart center, really whatever works best for you. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Sometimes in balancing poses, I need to distract myself from the balancing by playing with my hands, whatever works best for you. Next breath, you're gonna slowly bring your right knee towards the front and then plant that foot back to the mat. Pausing here in stillness, palms face forward, root through both feet. Pardon the tree pun. Next breath, hands come back to heart center or your hips. Weight shifts to the right foot. Left heel lifts off the mat right above the ankle, opening your knee here first. You are welcome to stay here, or that left foot can come to your calf or up to your inner thigh. Again, checking in with this side of your body, honoring what's available, what works for you today. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Now, if it feels good and it's available in your practice, this can be a great time to try reverse prayer. Palms pressed together, shoulder blades squeezing together. This is really nice for opening that chest space, but again, not concerning yourself if that's not available in your body. A lot of it can depend on anatomy, so don't be too hard on yourself here. Next breath, reverse wherever you are. Left knee comes to the front, and then that foot plants on the mat. Palms open by your hips. Embracing stillness here for a full round of breath. You might be tempted to shake it out, just giving yourself some time in stillness. Next breath, inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your hands back to heart center. Taking your feet wide here for Malasana. Even if you don't typically use a block, I'd encourage you to bring one behind your heels. Maybe it's medium setting, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, reach up once more. Exhale, sink your hips down. Finding Malasana, hands at heart center. The reason I like the block here is we're really gonna focus on a long spine, but incorporating a twist. So left hand reaches towards the mat. It might touch it, it might not. Right arm opens to the sky. Imagining as much space as possible between your left and right fingertips. Really opening. Full breath here. Next breath, come back to center. Other side, right arm extends long, left arm opens up. Again, actively pressing that right elbow into your right knee. Left fingertips reach tall, keeping the spine long. Breathe here. Next breath, back to center. Shifting that block out from under your seat. Find a seated star. So soles of the feet press together, heels pull away from the body. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge forward, and then round forward. Giving yourself a few rounds of breath here. Some bodies, it feels good to use your elbows to press on those thighs, opening the knees a bit more. But again, not cranking or forcing anything, just finding what works for you. One more full breath right where you are. Then when you're ready, pressing your upper body out of that shape, soles of the feet come together. Bringing that block with you, we'll lower down to a supported, first down to a reclined position, preparing for supported bridge. Soles of the feet press into the mat, feet at hips distance. Then inhale, press into the soles of your feet, lifting your hips just high enough to slide that block under your sacrum at a height that feels supportive. Taking a bit of a variation today. Inhale, pull your right knee towards your chest. Hands might come around that right shin. And then extend your left leg long. Now notice if that adds any extra pressure to your low back. Left sole of the foot can plant right on the mat. Or you can take this shape lying flat on the mat, releasing the block from beneath you. Give yourself a few rounds of breath wherever you are. Whatever version of this pose you're taking today. Next breath, reverse out the same way we got in. Left sole of the foot to the mat, right sole of the foot lowers. Other side, left knee hugs in towards the chest. Hands come around that shin. Then right leg extends long just to check in with your body. You can keep it extended or bring that right sole of the foot back to the mat or lower down, releasing the block. Take time to find the pose that works for you. And breathe here. Next breath, reversing out the same way we got in. Right sole of the foot to the mat, left sole of the foot lowers. Lift your hips just high enough to release that block. Lower your hips down. Inhale, hug your knees towards your chest, little yogi hug. Arms wrap around the shins, maybe forehead squeezes up to the knees before you extend into Shavasana. Legs extend long, arms hang heavy. Give yourself a few rounds of breath here. Imagining each exhale allows you to sink just a bit deeper into the pose. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Body can remain still. If it feels good and is available to you today, you are more than welcome to stay in this place of rest. If it's time to close out your practice, start with gentle movement like wiggling your fingers and toes. Roll out your wrists and ankles. Anything that feels good to wake up your body. And then taking your time, Guide yourself to a fetal position on either side. Pausing there for a moment of stillness with your body before you press up to a comfortable, easy seat. Eyes can stay soft or closed, feeling into some gratitude for showing up today, honoring your body with movement and with rest. So allowing that importance to sink in.